Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're diving deep into one of the biggest questions there is. Who are you really? We're going to explore this idea that the you think you know, all the roles you play, your job, your nationality, might just be a temporary construct. So let's get right into it.
Okay, let's just start right there. It's a fundamental question, but one we rarely stop to actually ask ourselves. Seriously, just for a second, think about it. How would you answer that? Who are you?
For most of us, our brains immediately jump to these familiar labels, right? We define ourselves by our family roles, our nationality, what we do for a living, or maybe even what we hope other people think about us, our reputation. These are the quick and easy answers we use to make sense of ourselves and our place in the world.
But what if those labels aren't the real you? What if they're just training wheels? That's what our source material suggests. They're useful tools that help us learn and get our balance in life, but maybe, just maybe, they're meant to be taken off so we can finally ride free.
And that leads us to a pretty radical idea, and it's really the core of what we're talking about today. The sources we're looking at are proposing that your identity, this whole collection of labels and stories, is not your permanent true self.
Think of it like this. Your identity is the car you drive to get around in society. It helps you make decisions, it helps you organize your life, and it lets you interact with everyone else. It's your ticket to participate in the game of life. But it's a construct, a temporary ride that we can, and maybe even must, outgrow if we want to reach our true potential.
So, if our identity is the vehicle, what's the engine? What's under the hood making it go? Well, for a lot of us, that engine is the ego. And according to these sources, that engine often runs on one thing: fear.
Now, it's really important to understand that the ego isn't some bad guy we need to go to war with. It's actually a protective mechanism. It's a self-defense system that our subconscious built to keep us safe from all the scary stuff out there: rejection, losing control, and of course, the big one, death.
But here's the catch. The ego's entire operating system is based on fear. Fear of not being good enough. Fear of being alone. Fear of looking stupid. Fear of your reputation getting trashed. And when we make all our decisions from that place of fear, well, it completely clouds our judgment and basically keeps us locked in a cage, unable to really grow.
And what happens over time is we get so used to this fear-based programming that we start to believe it is us. We don't just say, I am feeling angry right now. We say, I am an angry person. We totally confuse the temporary emotional weather for our unchanging true self.
Okay, so if our identity is this thing that's been built, what are the building blocks? What is it actually made of? Well, according to our sources, it's like a mosaic put together from 3 different kinds of pieces.
Yeah, think of it just like that, a mosaic. It's this unique picture of ourselves that we assemble piece by piece our whole lives. And this mosaic we create, it becomes the filter, the lens through which we experience absolutely everything. So let's look at the 3 types of pieces that make it up.
The first layer is experiential. These are the tiles made from your past memories, your schooling, where you grew up, and all the stories you tell yourself about your life. It's also your goals, your values, and even those emotional reactions that have become habits. It's basically the sum of everything you've recorded so far.
The second set of pieces is emotion-based. This is all about how you feel about yourself. It's your self-image. It's the social roles you choose to play, like being a parent, or a boss, or a good friend. It's your style in relationships, and it's how you present yourself to the world, online and off.
And that third layer, that's the cultural and social stuff. These are the patterns we tend to absorb without even questioning them. They come from our family, our society, our religion, our politics. They are the kind of unspoken rules and group beliefs that quietly shape who we think we are. So here's the cool part. If we can understand that our identity is just a construct made up of all these different pieces, that means we can also learn to see beyond it. And that process, that journey, leads to this really powerful state the source material calls self-sovereignty.
But what does that actually mean, self-sovereignty?
Well, it's the shift from being a passenger in your own life to getting into the driver's seat. It's about consciously realizing that you are the central authority in your life, making choices from your true self, not from the automatic programming of your family, your culture, or your own ego's fears.
Now, this isn't like flipping a switch. It's a journey, and it seems to unfold in stages. First, we learn to rise above that primal fear-based programming. Then, we start to question and move beyond all that societal conditioning we just talked about. Next, we get better at managing our knee-jerk negative reactions. And finally, we stop projecting our old limiting beliefs onto every new situation.
And this image, wow, it just captures that journey so perfectly.
It's not about fighting or destroying your ego, right? It's a conscious ascent. It's about liberating your own awareness, moving from this limited, built reality to a genuine state of freedom.
Now here's where it gets really interesting. This deeply personal journey of self-discovery isn't just about you. It actually connects to a much bigger picture about our collective evolution as a species.
You see, according to these sources, becoming self-sovereign is not a selfish act at all. In fact, it's the most crucial step we can take to transform our society. It's like the universe's ultimate grassroots movement for getting us beyond our collective problems.
This diagram gives us a sense of how that might work. It shows our individual inner worlds, our souls, our energy, interacting with everyone else's. And as more and more people start operating from this sovereign space, that combined energy, that synergy, actually starts to shift our collective consciousness, creating a whole new way of being for humanity.
So this brings us to this amazing quote that kind of flips Shakespeare's famous line on its head. The question isn't just about whether to exist or not, it's about the quality of that existence. The idea here is that to truly be is to live in that conscious, sovereign, and fearless state.
And that leaves us with a final, pretty provocative thought. We all have a choice. We can stay identified with the temporary, fear-based identity we've built, or we can consciously decide to take off those training wheels and evolve into who we truly are. The only question left is, which path are you going to choose?